About 10 years ago, after doing a medical, the doctor was giving me the results and he said to me, "You're just passing. Not thriving, not super healthy, not strong, just passing." And that hit me like a ton of bricks. I was maybe 26 at the time. And I realized in that moment that I wasn't really building a life. I was literally just surviving. Now, to give you a bit of context, I'd started working in sales in a startup company that was going into bankruptcy. So it affected everything. There was ripple effects, right? I was nervous. I had hyper anxiety and I just wasn't myself. It was a tough time, a tough period in my life. And I remember going into that medical exam. Now, it was quite a hot day in Australia. Being an Irishman, I was sweating buckets, as we say. And I went in, and like I said, he just said, "Just passing." My blood pressure was through the roof. And I realized there and then that your body keeps the score. And you can't just close your eyes and imagine everything's going to be okay. I needed to really do something about it. And the first thing I wanted to do was get my health in check because I'd never really went to the gym. I'd never really built that discipline of waking up early. And the first time I went to the gym in Australia, it was hilarious, right? I went there with no towel. I didn't know how to use any of the machines. I was sweating buckets already because I ran to the gym and I was out of breath. And I went and I left because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I had to sort of go to my brother-in-law because he was big into the gym and ask him, "Hey, can you help a guy out here?" And what I did was I bought a bench press and I put it into the shed in his garage. And I really did that because I was probably a little bit shy for people to see me. I wanted to almost Rocky style, like hide away in the gym and the basement, as they say, and sort of work on my technique there. And he helped me a lot. And I remember nearly just when I was giving up, one of the neighbors, he had his own garage and he sort of said, "You're looking fit, mate." He could see my progress. And it might sound like a small thing, but it meant a lot to me. It showed me that I was actually making progress. And then I transitioned from the gym and the shed to an actual gym with my brother-in-law. And I started to set goals. And I said, "You know what? The biggest goal for me would be to bench 100 kg." Now, I remember I was a skinny, tall, lanky, as they say in Ireland, Irish guy. And I remember sometimes years ago looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger and telling myself a story, I could never be like that. Now, I'm not like that today, but just hear me out. But I created the story, right? It's not in my DNA. But I decided to rewrite that story and I decided to, okay, I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to set a goal here and I'm going to give myself 6 months to bench 100 kg and I'm going to eat the right foods, right? And I'm going to avoid things that are bad. And I started to set those goals. And when I hit that 100 kg, I couldn't believe it. And it was really sort of, I took my foot off the pedal, so to speak, right? And it had ripple effects then in the rest of my life. And I started to go into strongman competitions with my brother-in-law. And I'll show a few pictures at the end of this, right? I was like lifting rocks. I was doing a farmer's walk. I was lifting super heavy things. And it really started to sort of once again open up different pathways, be it financially, be it spiritually, and even in my love goals, whatever it may be. And that was really cool. And there was a lot of camaraderie at that. And it meant a lot to me that moment. And I always remember watching Prison Break and hearing one of my favorite characters, Alexander Mahone, say, "JP Getty had a formula for success, and it's rise early, work hard, and strike oil." And I used to always say that to myself. And it's so simple, but it's so profound. And what I did in the gym, it started then to come into all of the other areas of my life. So if you're struggling right now, I think the gym is the best place to actually start to see results because when you see your body change, everything else will change. Like healthy body, healthy mind, as they say. So once again, rise early, work hard, and eventually, it might be a couple of months, it could be years, you will strike oil. Hit subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video.